Welcome back to the channel, Autistic AFs and Autistic Hats. So today we're going to be diving into the world of autism memes. I've got a great one here. What people think self-diagnosis means, I saw 3 TikToks and decided I was autistic. Meanwhile, self-diagnosed autistics compiling their research. It's absolutely true. I haven't personally had it directed at me, oh, you've watched TikTok, because I don't do TikTok, but I have seen a lot of this online. This belief that you're self-identified, you're self-diagnosed. Why are you doing that? You think that you've watched some TikTok videos, and it's just this instant way of invalidating people. When the actual truth is a huge amount of introspection. Introspection is a completely different thing. See other videos for that. It's a huge amount of introspection. People spend time re-evaluating their lives through an autistic lens and seeing if the traits fit. There's nothing wrong with doing so. Autistic pee contains psychedelic toad venom and we've known since the 70s. A PubMed article here. Elevated urine levels of bufotenine in patients with autistic spectrum disorders and schizophrenia. Autistic pee contains psychedelic toad venom. Raw dogging the grocery store by going in autistic with no earplugs. This is really quite amusing for me. I mean, it's only now, I'm a late diagnosed autistic adult, that I realise I have some labels for things that I didn't have before. But I often travel. In fact, I don't like going out without my AirPods. I know some people like Loop, Karma and Flare, for example, just to reduce the sound a little bit, just reduce the stimulation from the noise. I also like wearing sunglasses as well. It's a great way to just kind of like block out some of the pressing down the lights, just being quite loud in my mind, and just give me a more peaceful time at the supermarket. There's nothing really to jazz it up as, but yeah, it is true that since I'm used to going in my own peace at the supermarkets, that if I go there and it's noisy and I don't have my AirPods in, I don't have noise cancellation, yeah, I notice it. That's absolutely the case. Do you mind if I mimic your behaviour to appear more human? And there's some sort of like a demon woman here staring at our souls. Now, this is masking, and honestly, it feels to me, when we talk about masking, that it's sort of quintessentially disingenuous. We're saying, can I deceive you? Can I be someone that I'm not? And sadly, it does really feel like that a lot of the time. Sometimes I wonder, when you make friends, you're interacting with people, they like you, is it actually just the masked version of you that they like? I had no friends at school, at least until later on. I kind of fell in with the outcasts and misfit kind of group. And it was great. If I realised I was autistic earlier, I'd probably hung out with them from the beginning. I could have had a better schooling experience. But everyone masks, but suppressing stims, suppressing atypical movements as best as you can. It does have a slight disingenuous kind of overtone to it. I don't really know how we change that at the moment. If you do, let me know in the comments. I show all the signs of autism and ADHD, and then a train just comes and smashes the school bus. I hope no one's on it. This looks like a test track, actually. It's just anxiety. And I'm going to say that this train is like the train of medical professionals that have got very little experience, if none, actually, on psychology and different models of disability. The social model of disability, for instance, which just talked about the whole going to the supermarket without your headphones, without, say, sunglasses, for example. Supermarkets could just manage it a little bit better. They could possibly have better lighting, but a lot of these shops are running on like really tight profit margins. I understand why they don't, but it's just anxiety. Well, how about this? I don't feel anxious when I'm accommodating myself, and if I'm in an environment that isn't accommodating at all, yeah, I feel that anxiety build up. It isn't just anxiety, not at all. My social anxiety in exams. You could ask for a rest break or suffer in silence. I actually had an exam yesterday. It was to do with my scuba diving. It was a long theory exam on rescue stuff. So oxygen administration and various presentations of sick and ill distressed divers. And the front page says, if you want larger print, you can ask for larger print. If you want a different environment, blah, 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 blah. If you want any accommodations, it just says so on the front page, which I thought was brilliant. But I'm like, nah, I'm just going to crack on with it. It's not a problem. I passed. But yeah, it's even when accommodations are available and freely available, and we just suffer. I do feel like this is kind of a British thing as well. Us Brits, especially us autistic Brits, we're very much... we just stiff upper lip, whatever that really meant at the time. Maybe I have to have a moustache to understand stiff upper lip. Let me know. Directly communicating? No, we don't do direct communication here. Hinting, implying, insinuating. Have you ever been in trouble for missing a hint? Relationships, flirting, early relationships. Later on, bit more mature, there's some understanding, you can kind of work with it, but especially early in the days, when you're just meeting new people, not just for relationships, I'm talking like romantic ones, but also kind of friendships as well. The hinting, implication, insinuation. If it's not clear, whose problem's this? This is the double empathy problem in this meme here, this kind of Drake meme, it's the double empathy problem, where neurotypicals seem to, for the most part, understand the hints, the implications, the insinuations, the unwritten rules, whereas autistics, it does tend to just go straight over our heads. Wow. Me being overstimulated in any social situation, your choices are lying on the floor or continue masking. So the original Tea and Tails, the Tea and Tails Book Club, by the way, is going to be, I'm going to upload this video and then we're going to have Tea and Tails live stream book club. It's going to be fantastic. But the reason it's a day late is because I was at a family 70th birthday party yesterday, and it's like the continue masking button. And lying on the floor also isn't an option, so we're going to continue masking. But there are some other options as well. How about just staring at your food, looking around the room? Because you can't play with your phone, right? We need to, you can't just pick up your phone and start, I'll be honest, there was a moment where I did just pick I sat on the floor and I picked up my phone and I'm like, let's just read my YouTube comments and reply. So few of you got replies from the floor of a party. Me being overstimulated in any social situation. Toilet breaks are fantastic for this, but be warned, people might think you have a UTI. You might do if you don't drink enough water, by the way. Drink something. Here we go. He doesn't look autistic. My apologies. Oh, he's talking like a parent, right? He doesn't look autistic. My apologies. Luke, would you mind doing an autism for the lady, please? To everyone's horror, then Luke then proceeded to name every train ever built. But it's not really the point, actually. You don't owe explanations to other people. I am oversharing on this channel and I'm doing it consciously and intentionally. But you do not owe people explanations. You don't look autistic, well, what's your knowledge of autism like then? How up to date are you with the scientific research? Particularly if you're talking to AFABs, females, women, who present completely differently to the vast body of research. If you're looking at the autistic body of research, this sort of starts kind of 1930s-ish, 1940s, starts building up through the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. It's pretty much all boys at that point. And then 90s, we start seeing like a bit of girls kind of coming into the fray here. That's when PDA was coined. And then we get like a bit of it kind of goes up to a curve. And then it kind of, the bulk on that side is boys in pre-war Vienna. And we have a lot of references there. Oh, and then the ABA thing, I forgot to mention that. That's kind of predominant in the bulk of autism research. Yeah. So yeah, you don't owe, Luke does not owe a train monologue, but I'm sure he enjoyed it. I'll be honest. I enjoy the infodumping. I know some of you guys enjoy the infodumping as well. Let's infodump together. I think, isn't that so wonderful, right? I feel like I know so much about some really niche things purely as a result of interacting with other autistic people and listening to them wax lyrical about something very specific. It's fantastic. Neurotypicals, when you ask them to explain a rule they expect you to follow that doesn't make sense to you. What are they wearing? This looks like the 1970s, 60s? No, 80s, right? It's hard to say, right? The pattern on second in from the left, she's wearing something that looks very much like what I used to wear when I was a kid in Germany in the 80s. Don't think about it too hard, too hard. What is that song? Okay, but this is true. It's like you're overthinking. Just don't think about it. Just don't worry about it. Just chill. You've heard this before, I'm sure. It'll be okay. You'll be fine. But you lack the ability. It's like, okay, get in this Formula One car and just do a race. It's fine. Everyone knows how to race Formula One cars. We're born knowing. I can't tell you when I learned how to drive a Formula One car, but we just do it, don't we? Or swimming, for exact matter. We all just swim. Let's just assume an ability that isn't a given if you haven't learnt it. Interesting, isn't it? It's quite funny. Don't think about it too hard. I don't know the song. Let me know the song in the comments below. I'll have a little listen. Another one of the Drake. Wearing sunglasses because it's really bright outside. Nope. Wearing sunglasses because other people can't see my eyes, so I don't have to worry about eye contact. Here's the thing. I wear sunglasses because it's bright outside. I wear contact lenses a lot, but then sometimes the sensitivity, the sensations don't like it, so I switch to glasses. This is the longest period of glass I was wearing I think I've done in my adult life right now. Post contact lenses. And these are like really cool. They transition, so they change. So it's great. And they'll still stay dark if I go into a grocery store. They'll still be dark from the outside when I'm walking around the grocery store, which is brilliant. My autism, what's this? This looks like a schematic for a boiler of some sort. Yeah, boiler, fuel elements goes in there, still pressure control rods. Control rods? Nuclear, I think. Looks like a nuclear reactor. Also my autism. It's a plushie. I can understand this. Now, it's only our modern society that says that things like plushies are not cool. Comfort toys, comfort items, right? So when I was born, before I was born, my parents bought me a number of fluffy toys. 4 plushies I had. 4 plushies. I had a monkey, a lion, a mouse and a duck. The mouse I gave to my son when he went on his first school trip away from parents. I wanted to give him something that gave me a lot of comfort. He knew it gave me a lot of comfort. It gave him a lot of comfort. Off it went with him. He's still got it, I think. The other one was a duck, which I still have. This duck is approximately 43 years old. Smells great. Still in very good condition, I think, for a very old plushie duck. The name is Duck. This is in my bedroom. What's the matter with that? Occasional teasing, but hey, what's the matter, right? What's the deal? What's the problem with having comfort items or something that's nice, right? What's the point? Why does it upset certain people? I find it really strange actually, because the sort of folks that I hang around with, marine people, marine biologists, that kind of thing, everyone's got like marine stuffed plushies, This is a seal over here, look. I've got a chunky seal. I've got a manta ray over there. It's great. And it seems sort of more socially acceptable if it kind of like ties in with your interests. I don't know. How holistics see you when you show a positive emotion that's a little too loud. Oh yeah, it's like, wow, what's wrong with you? You're properly off the wall here. This reminds me again of the Chloe Hayden clip. I've mentioned it in 3 videos now. In my last video, you can actually see the clip where she's jumping for joy, showing a huge amount of joy. I don't know if I'd call it autistic joy as much as human joy. And the comments she had, the bullying, led to her leaving social media directly. She's no longer actively participating. She's providing content to her team that post it. I think that's really sad. I really enjoy the connection that I've got with you guys, but I can see how people can be bullied, and it's awful. It's properly upsetting. Why can't we show emotion, the full range of emotion? Why do we have to cap the happy and cap the sad into this tiny little, little slit, like on a post box? You've got this tiny little, in the UK anyway. Me analysing my favourite shows for foreshadowing and thematic parallels. Me doing long division. Okay, so Patrick's having a bad day here. But basically, yes, I get this. It's kind of, it reminds me of the I didn't get the science autism, I got the whatever, or that kind of thing. It's kind of amusing. We have spiky skill profiles, and we don't get to choose, I don't believe, our special interests. I'm trying to hook some of you into Minecraft right now, but honestly, we don't get to choose. When someone says, that happens to me too, see, everybody's a little bit autistic. Yes. Often confused with autism as a superpower. For me, I've fought quite hard to kind of force my life into some environment that I can thrive in. And I think that should be, it's a shame, right, the struggles, but having that for all autistics is definitely so important. People, stop asking stupid questions. Me just trying to figure out what thing I said to anger them. All right then, keep your secrets.
All right then, keep your secrets.
Popcorn kernels getting stuck in my teeth. Popcorn being one of my top safe foods, and popcorn kernels getting stuck in my teeth. Two sides of the coin. It's the pleasure-pain balance. There used to be this advert on TV where this lady would like eat a yogurt, like a really nice yogurt, and then somebody would like fall over and get hurt or something, and it'd be like pleasure-pain. It's kind of like it has to be in harmony in the universe or some stuff like that, and this is kind of like that. It's kind of like you can get your safe food, but I like rice, but it kind of can do the same thing. It could like get stuck in your teeth. It's like that's unpleasant. Same thing again. The train, enjoying finger foods, residue on fingers. But same thing again with the train and the bus. But I feel sorry for that bus now. But honestly, it can be managed, right? You're going to a buffet thing. You can try and take a couple of like wet wipes or something in like little packets. If you can be planned. Maybe this is why us autists like to know. We like to have certainty when we go to an event. What's the food? What are the options? What is it going to be? I'm not saying that from vegan perspective. I've been vegan for 4 or 5 years now, but that's not the whole story. Before then, same thing. I want to know what food is available. What options do I have? Can I afford to eat something? Can I resort to just taking something that I liked, just in my pocket, in my bag, just to make sure I had something to eat. I'd often just be polite and not eat, or just eat a tiny bit and, run off to the bathroom and chuck down a chocolate bar or something. Guys, very happy cat here. This cat is very happy. I think I got the mouth and size autism. It's like a baby cat. When you're at the family reunion, been there, and nobody wants to talk about trees, and then my arousal in symbiotic interrelationships with fungi. I would talk about that. Oh, poor Autistic Pingu here, Autistic Pingu. Aspie Pingu. As an adult, we get a bit more autonomy. What we lack in support, we do get back in autonomy, I think. Disclose disability, choice, and get hideously othered in some way. Don't disclose disability and not get the resources you may need. Me every time. I think on the plot, in general, you're not gonna get any support, and you'll end up with some sort of othering, some sort of ableistic view about you. I do find myself biting my tongue when people are talking about autism. Not that they're saying things I disagree with, just that I kind of want to say, yeah, me too, or make a comment or add something to it. But I don't. I'm kind of being strategic about who I talk to about being autistic. Me, when a random person asks me a question and I answer without any problems, maybe I am a neurotypical. There's vision here. It's like, yeah. Okay. It's like, oh wow, where did that come from? I've just done a thing. Or maybe you think you've done a thing. Cancelling plans is okay. Staying home to cook is okay. Disappearing for a bit to get your life together is okay. Resurfacing in a foreign country 10 years later with a new name is okay. It's called self-care. How many of us do this, by the way? Travel as autistics. Move, emigrate, change city, change town, change job. Quite a bit, I think. Through gritted teeth. I love being out of my comfort zone. It's necessary for my development. Do you know, so much has been put into this whole, right, yes, you need to be better. You need to expose yourself. It's like exposure therapy. And honestly, it can just cause trauma and problems. I mean, look, there is a flip side. Gentle exposure to new experiences, new thoughts is a good thing. It is good for your development. It is good for your maturity. But don't send your kid away for a week to scout camp. Mum and Dad, thanks. I can recall every book, movie, or bit of information I've ever learned. When did I last drink water? You may be completely monotropically focused on something and just forget to drink. I do that. I get completely lethargic, and it's like, I haven't drunk anything today. Oh my goodness, I haven't eaten anything today. I've been so tired after dives, and I thought, I don't think one banana is going to cut it calorie-wise. Me. Starts to read the first Percy Jackson book because a YouTuber I like told me to. Book Autism. Guess who's back? Back again. Tea and Tails in 4 hours, but for me, not for you. You're probably going to see this video after Tea and Tails, I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't know how to make conversations. Oh, a cat. 50 tabs of documentation. Okay, I relate. Got the not necessarily good at programming, but determined and hyperfixated enough to troubleshoot for hours. All right, what this person's doing. C++. Oh, I remember Ball and C++ when I was in Turbo C++ when I was learning C++. Oh, I've hardly had to use it since, thank goodness. Yeah, I can relate to this. A lot of my development experience comes from just hammering hyperfixatedly at something. On a few days ago, on the Friday, I was on a call from 8:30 in the morning to 1:15 p.m. One phone call. It was actually a Teams meeting, so I could mute myself now and again. But it was a solid call just to troubleshoot some issue that the client was relying on me for. And yeah, I mean, I had to do it as well. I had to do it verbally because the client wouldn't let me access the computer. So I had to verbally say, have you tried this? Have you tried that? And then the IT person would go and try different things. Eventually we got there. But that is not my preferred way to work. Oh, if I'd have known it would have been like that. Clue, by the way. Before you do meetings, get an agenda. /autism user. I should probably get assessed for autism. If you're reading a lot about autism, ADHD or ADHD, and you relate to a lot of the traits and you relate to content creators and what they're saying, then yeah, you probably should think about your identification. I'm not saying that you should get it assessed, you should get a formal assessment. I did a video on the pros and the cons of doing it, the formal assessment. Self-ID, self-diagnosis is generally very well accepted in the autistic community for the reasons I've gone to in those videos. I won't rehash them now. The dreadful shower, first. Too wet to step in. Then you fear the dryness of the outside world. I'll hard relate to this. The thing is, right, is I prefer like baths to showers because I can get into a hot bath. I can just have it at the right temperature for me and I can just sit there. I can read and respond to your YouTube comments. If you've got a response from me, I probably sent it to you from the bath. But then getting out is difficult. So we drag a dehumidifier into the bathroom, run it so the air is warm and dry. So you get out, it's dry, but it's not cold and you're not doing that shiver thing. And then I just sit there hair drying for ages, even though my hair's not very long, just because of the warmth. It's not, I really hate that feeling, especially if you've got like slightly damp hair and you like go to bed and you've got damp hair on a pillow. It just literally makes me so angry, irrationally angry. Like this, when a dog licks me, when a cat licks me. Cats with their sandpaper tongue. Oh, this is interesting. The puzzle pieces. So we have a puzzle piece being born here, and then growing up and graduating, looking for a job, and then self-cutting off a piece, mutilating themselves, traumatizing themselves so that they can fit in. Now, the puzzle piece autism stuff, it comes from autism, well, Autism Speaks predominantly, but pre-Autism Speaks. Puzzle pieces have been used as a puzzling condition. But to me, a puzzle piece indicates that you've got a piece missing, right? We've all done puzzles and gone, we've got stuff missing and it's infuriating. You've got pieces missing. A piece missing is also synonymous with you're something wrong with you, right? Like you're broken. Your fundamental important bits missing from your brain. That's how I read it. And I appreciate this may not be how other people interpret it, but that's my interpretation. And the fact that Autism Speaks uses a puzzle piece just makes me hate it. Autism Speaks could use a cat emoji and I'd be turned off cat emojis. I don't know what to say. Here you go, Autism Speaks. And we don't listen. Not even the slightest bit. There we go. My new business card's arrived. Alex Taylor. Please do not contact me. I love it. How much do you overthink? Please select all the squares with traffic lights. And there's a tiny bit of traffic light just poking out. My two personalities, not talking, oversharing. Mm-hmm. At school, I was this Wednesday. and now I'm like this one. A friend. Oops, my face. The stained glass in the back looks amazing. I really quite like memes Is there like a really gentle way to kind of explore and to tell the truth about things, topics that are kind of sensitive to address in any other way? So if you have any autism memes of your favourites, why don't you email them to me at mike@autisticafter40.com. That's where the AF comes from. This episode has been brought to you by this, my duck, a plushie that I've had the entire time I've been on this world. Honestly, duck's in pretty good condition, washes well. Yeah, I've had this. I've got pictures. I'll find them in a future video. We're going to talk about plushies. We're going to talk about comfort objects. We're going to talk about being an adult. We're going to talk about infantilization. But honestly, just for now, let's normalize having a plushie. See you later.